Once again, it's time for the Team Lift podcast with your hosts, Brandon Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Let's go ahead and get right into the show. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Team Lift podcast. It is me, Roderick McDaniel, and the superstar co-host,
Brandon Bowie.
All right, and we're back to kind of hit you guys with some more topics that cover the world of geek culture. Brandon, going to get into your mind today. I got a list.
Oh, no.
So this is called Pick Your Brain today. That's what today's episode is. We're going to pick your brain. I'm going to throw some topics at you.
Okay.
We're going to get into those topics.
Okay.
And then I want to kind of get your opinions on them.
Hit me.
All right. This one here is really interesting. There is a movie that's out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be near and dear to some of our listeners' hearts. But there's something strange about this movie. The movie, okay, Rotten Tomatoes is giving it a 30, 27.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's like, it's getting the same score that Batman vs. Superman got, and we know how you feel about that one.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, so now saying that, I asked people about this movie that I knew had watched it. People who I respected, good friends of ours in the gaming community. And I said, hey, did you see the movie? And they said, yes. And I said, what did you think about it? This is where it gets weird. Every single one of them said, you're going to love this movie if you ever played the game or are a fan of the game.
Yep.
Never said anything else. They never said, oh man, if you're coming new to this movie, you're going to think it's great. You're going to think it's wonderful. Everybody, without ever talking to each other, I asked them all at different times at different places. Everybody said the same thing. You're going to love this movie if you ever played the games or are a fan of the games. We're talking about the Warcraft movie.
Yeah.
I know you watched it.
I did watch it. It is exactly that way. If you have ever played the game, if you've ever played any of the Warcraft games and liked them, if you've ever played, World of Warcraft 1, 2, or 3, Warcraft 1, 2, 3, you're going to love this film. If you read any of the books, if you like Blizzard, if you like any of their lore, it is literally the video game on the screen. Like, to a T, it's the story of what happens in Warcraft Orcs versus Humans.
So, as a fan, they got it right for the fans.
They did it right. This is a 110% fan service movie. That's all it is. It's a fan service movie. If you are not a fan of the World of Warcraft, or of any of the Warcraft titles, you're gonna come into it and think it's a confusing mess, and you're not gonna like it. Just like all the critics didn't like it. But if you're a fan of the video games, or you are a fan of Blizzard in general, you're gonna love it because it's exactly what you would want from a movie like this.
Okay.
There are, I will admit, there are problems with it. Like, they don't bother to give any motivation for some of the characters' actions. Like, they don't give any motivation behind why Medivh does what Medivh does. Mm-hmm. They don't give a lot of explanation as to what Medivh is, or why he's important, or who Khadgar is and why Khadgar is important. They did kind of change Garona's backstory just a little bit, but not much. But other than just the surface stuff, mm-hmm. Like, there's an entire scene where they just stuck a fucking Murloc in the movie just to stick a Murloc in the movie. Like, he's just sitting on a lily pad next to, it's dark outside, there's a bridge, there's a Murloc sitting on a lily pad, he does the gurgle thing, and then it moves on into the next scene. Just for no reason other than fan service. It's like, hey, there's a Murloc, that kind of thing.
Okay, so here's the thing. Now, this is where the movie gets weird. Critics, 29. Mm-hmm. That's what its Rotten Tomato score is. Fans, people who pay to see the movie, 81%.
Yeah.
Now, this means this is more than just people who are fans of the game. Yeah. This is people who say, I'm going to just go see this movie, giving it an 81%.
Put it in a numbers perspective, this is a $377 million film. That's how much it's made so far. Mm-hmm. Most of that, 200 million of it, was made in China. The rest of it is domestic and in other venues. Mm-hmm. It is now the highest grossing video game film of all time. So if you think that they did something wrong, you're retarded.
Here's my thing. X-Men Apocalypse, fan rating 72%. Mm-hmm. Warcraft 81. Yeah. These are the fans, the money payers.
Yeah.
The new Ninja Turtles, 55% with the fans. Warcraft, 81. So if you really look at this, let me put this in some context. Civil War pulls a 91% with the fans, a 90% with the critics. And I think we can all pretty much say Civil War was an amazing.
Yeah.
It was an amazing film.
I think the difference between Civil War and Warcraft is that Civil War did a better job of threading the needle of everybody knows who everybody is. Everybody knows everybody's motivations. Mm-hmm. And all the motivations seem relevant and to a T to that character. The reason why they're doing what they're doing is because that's the way that that character is. In Warcraft, they don't have that threading of the needle of, you know, everybody's backstory and you know their motivations for doing what they do.
Right.
And I think that's one of the reasons why it was critically panned, is because it has a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of people. There's some pacing issues. There's some backstory issues. But if you're a fan of the games and you're a fan of Blizzard's storytelling style, you already know what's going to happen when you're going in. You already know Medivh's motivations. You already know Khadgar's backstory. You already know Lane's backstory. You know, you already have an idea of what's going on.
Right.
You're just going there to let it wash over you.
Okay, so let's say me, coming into this film, never played the games, very little about the knowledge. Will I enjoy it? As a guy who, let's say I'm just a Dungeons and Dragons fan, will I enjoy the film?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, you'll understand what's going on. You might have some questions as to why things are happening in the movie. Mm-hmm. And that knowledge can be filled in with just a quick video on the internet. Like, there's a 5-minute synopsis of all of the stuff that's basically just not in the film that you would want to know backstory wise. Okay. But as far as like a popcorn film or a great film that's just visually, just like I said, sit there and let it wash over you.
Yes, that's what
it's
I want to do.
fucking awesome.
Okay,
like,
cool.
The
So
fight
this is a
scenes are
popcorn
amazing. The CG is the tippy toppest notch CG I've ever seen. Like, there are scenes in that movie where you're watching the orcs and you're like, yeah, that's looks real. Like, that's convincing. Which is...
I heard the battles are epic scale.
The battles are amazing. Like, the last battle between the good guy and the bad guy, I'm not going to, like, spoil anything, is fucking epic.
Okay, are we talking, like, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, epicness?
Yeah.
So it's a massive battle.
Massive battle. Like, massive battle at the foot of the Dark Portal.
Oh, okay.
We're talking huge. Like, I don't know how they did it, but Duncan Jones went through and he actually rewrote the film, because the original draft of the film was very the humans are the good guys and the orcs are the bad guys. It was a very, not balanced like it is in World of Warcraft, because nobody's truly good and nobody's truly evil of the orcs or the humans or the Tauren or the undead. Nobody's truly evil except the Fel. And that's what they managed to get across in this, in their rewrite, is they made the orcs human characters. They gave them motivations for why they were doing what they were doing. They're trying to save their family. They're trying to save their people. They're trying to get off of a dying world and onto another world. So you know why the orcs are doing what they're doing. And you know they're not necessarily bad, but they're doing bad things. Mm-hmm. And you know that the humans are doing some shady shit on their side, too.
Okay, cool. I will have to definitely... I got some free movie passes, and this is a movie that I kind of want to see.
Go see it in a theater. It does deserve a theater showing.
I've heard that also. Yeah. So people have told me it's a big screen. Get you a icy, get you some popcorn, and just prepare to enjoy the film. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, that's actually really good. I'm kind of interested in that. I wanted to see how we were going to get into that one. Got another one. I want to talk to you about this. I hate to admit, I'm kind of dumb on this subject. Net neutrality. We've been talking about this for years. Mm-hmm. And we have people trying to control the net and feel that the net should be charged and monetized.
So essentially, there's net neutrality, which is what we have now, where every packet that everybody sends is sent with the exact same discretion as every other packet. And there's no discriminating between, this is traffic from somebody who's paying for this level of internet versus somebody who's paying for this level of internet. Everything just flows and goes where it's supposed to go. Then there's not net neutrality, where we take net neutrality and we throw it out the window and we say, okay, well, if you want access to just the basic web, which is, whatever site Joe Blow decides to put up, you pay this package. But if you want access to Google and Netflix and Facebook, you've got to add that $39 package on there.
Yeah, and they want to make it a luxury item instead of a utility, basically.
Yeah. And so the network neutrality laws were put into effect, I think, last year, 2014, 2015.
Yeah, early 2015.
Which basically cemented network neutrality as a thing. It defines the internet as a utility and not as a something that can be bought and sold and auctioned off to the highest bidder, essentially. So everybody's traffic is treated exactly the same when it goes from point A to point B. You can't arbitrarily slow it down, which is actually what was happening to Netflix before this legislation went through the first time. So if you were on certain networks, your Netflix may not work at all, or it may work shitty as hell.
Yeah, you're not getting 1080. You were getting it at best 720.
At best.
Because they were throttling you on the backside.
Exactly, because they were discriminating against Netflix packets versus Google packets versus Facebook packets. So based on your destination, they were choosing to give you a degraded level of service. Well, that network neutrality law that went into effect has come under fire by the very same networks who are just basically trying to make more money off of something that doesn't cost them very much in the beginning,
Right.
in the first place anyway.
Yeah, nothing. I mean,
bandwidth costs pennies, and they don't upgrade anybody's speeds ever. I mean, Time Warner just merged with Charter Communications.
I think that's who it is.
And since they've merged with Charter Communications, they've actually completely ceased on the Time Warner end the max upgrade that they've been doing across the country to give people up to 300 megabit a second. Like the internet that I enjoy here, I have 200 megabit down, 50 up. That internet package is now no longer being upgraded anywhere in the States at all because they've merged together and they've decided to stop the project for now. And it really sucks for people who haven't gotten it already. I've gotten it. I'm not going to be going back, but there's going to be nobody else that's going to be going forward with it, and that's what really sucks. And these network neutrality laws, the thing that just happened was they had challenged the FCC's ruling that the internet was a utility and that that network neutrality needed to be upheld.
And these were the companies like Verizon and AT&T because...
And Comcast.
And Comcast. Yeah, these guys were like, hey, no, we want to be able to,
we want to be able to charge
you
you more for the thing that you use all the time because you're not buying our other things anymore.
And so what they said is high-speed internet service can now be defined as a utility, and a federal court has ruled in sweeping decision clearing the way for more rigorous policing of broadband providers and greater protection for web users. Now, the beauty of this was that Google and Netflix are big supporters of this.
Yeah,
and
they have to be.
It pretty much let the FCC crack down on these big companies like Verizon and AT&T. Comcast was in that. Who was the one that we really had issues with?
Comcast is usually the one we always have problems with.
There was one that I remember. There was another company that was in there that we caught them throttling games.
Oh,
I can't think of the name of that company.
It wasn't.
It was a big stink on the internet.
Level 3 Communications was detecting that Verizon customers were having throttling happen to their Netflix streams. I'm not sure about games, but I know that it was happening to Netflix.
Yeah, they were doing some throttling of whatever you were getting. You weren't getting it through. Yeah. They were, he's using that. Let's throttle it down.
And Netflix was actually having to pay to get access so that its customers could get their content at the proper speed that they were supposed to be getting. So they were actually taking out basically protection money. Verizon was charging Netflix protection money to protect its packets flowing over the Verizon parts of the network for the internet that flow through Verizon's backbones. It's shady shit.
Yeah, and I should have known. There's a guy, Ajit Pai. He's a Republican commissioner who was among the minority who opposed the regulation of broadband as a utility. He urged cable and telecom firms to keep going with their legal challenge. I continue to believe that these regulations are unlawful, and I hope that the parties challenging them will continue the legal fight. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure a lobbying group has got him in their pocket.
Yeah.
Because it was not a lot of people that sided with the cable companies on this one.
Yeah. But luckily, it's been struck down again, and hopefully the laws have been strengthened to the point where it's not going to be something that they're going to be able to legally challenge, although they're probably going to try again, and it's going to continue to be shut down, I hope, here into the future. So what else is on the Pick My Brain section here?
I like that, man. We'll definitely, let's keep our eye out on that and see how that plays out. I want to get into this one. you're a fan of this show. Flash, season 3. We know what's coming in season 3.
We know so Grant Gustin.
I think we knew it was coming.
Well, we knew it was coming, but Grant Gustin made it official on Twitter today. He basically tweeted that the name of the first episode of season 3 is, and I quote, "Flashpoint. This is not a drill."
And the internet went crazy when he had something like 12,000 retweets.
19,231 likes and 12,562 retweets. And this was posted at 9 a.m. I'm going to retweet it right now, actually. Because
I love this guy.
Sweet
First
Jesus.
of all, can I just say this? Grant Gustin is the Flash to me. He embodies everything I wanted the Flash to be.
There is nobody else. There is no other Flash.
Yeah, he is everything I wanted the Flash to be. He is amazing in the role. And I really, really, really wish he would have been in the movies.
So if you don't understand why we're going crazy over this or why the internet's going crazy over this, Flashpoint is an amazing set of comics. And it's also, if you go onto Netflix, just look up The Flash, Operation Flashpoint. I think it's Operation Flashpoint.
I think it's Flashpoint Paradox.
Or Flashpoint Paradox.
It is. I think it's what it is. That was the animated film.
Yeah, that was the animated film.
And we'll go ahead and give you guys some history. Flashpoint Paradox is one of the greatest Flash stories ever told. And it also led to the New 52 in DC Comics. It rebooted their whole universe. And it touched every freaking character in that universe was affected. And, I don't think it's a spoiler to say basically what happened is the Flash figured out, hey, I'm always running back in time, running forward in time. I got the speed to kind of time travel. What if I went back in time and saved my mother from dying?
And this is something that he's wanted to do in the show for the last 2 seasons.
Right.
And at the end of this season, spoilers if you haven't seen it yet, Flash loses his father.
Right.
He finally gets to get with Iris, yes. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. He finally gets to get with Iris, and he throws all of that away to go back and save his mother.
Right.
And that in the comics is what kicks off Flashpoint.
Yes.
And after Flashpoint kicks off, it changes everything. Like, he comes back to the future, and when he gets back to the future, he no longer has his powers. He's never been the Flash. His mom is alive.
Nobody in the Justice... There is no Justice League.
Superman doesn't exist. Well, he exists, but nobody knows who he is.
Right.
Because he's basically been trapped underground. Batman is Batman's father.
Right. And Bruce and his mother died in the alley.
No. Bruce died in the alley. His mother became the Joker.
That's right.
And his father became Batman. I think about the only person who hasn't really changed that much is Cyborg.
Yeah, he really didn't.
Cyborg didn't change all that much. But it takes all of everything that we've known about all of these characters and kind of turns it on its ear.
Yeah.
And after season 4 of Arrow, I think that's probably going to be a good thing. There's also supposed to be a 4-part crossover between all 4 of the shows now, including Supergirl.
Because Supergirl is coming to the CW.
Supergirl's coming to the CW.
She's coming to the CW. We're going to have, we got The Flash, we got Arrow, we got
Legends
Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow, all on one network.
All on one network.
Meaning 4 days a week, there's going to be some DC goodness on some network television channel.
Mm-hmm.
And, but that Flashpoint, and I think we knew it was coming, and we had friends that were hyped. One of our dear friend of the show, Harish.
Mm-hmm.
Harish is a huge Flash fan.
Yeah.
Harish embodies what I want a Flash fan to be. Somebody that's dedicated to the comic book, that goes out and collects the volumes of it, when they collect them into the giant graphic novels, and really watches every episode and picks it apart. He's a Flash super fan.
Yeah.
And he kind of felt like at the end of the season, I feel like they're going Flashpoint. I can't say that they are, but I feel like it. You felt like it.
I knew it. I knew that was going to happen.
Our buddy Tim Randall, he felt like it. So enough of you guys were feeling like this is going Flashpoint.
Yeah.
And the weird part is, I gave up on this last season.
Why?
I totally tapped out on the season, and a lot of people were like shocked. They were like, "You really did?" I said, "I gave up." Man, bro, I got a lot of stuff. Let's just be honest. A lot of stuff going on.
You're gonna need to get caught up before the new season starts.
A lot of fires that I am burning, and with the podcast, the comedy shows, and the hosting gigs, and then I was doing my own blog where I
Yeah.
was reviewing anime, and man, there was so much going on. So it was really like there were a lot of fires, and it just like when it got down to it, I was trying to maintain a couple of shows. The Flash was the first one to get the boot,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty rest assured that they're going to do it like they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's coming to Netflix a month before it comes back on.
Yeah.
And I will binge watch the shit out of that. I will call in sick one day.
You need to do it.
It'll be a call in. Hey, what happened? I'm calling in sick 2 days in a row, and it's going to be 8 hours of Flash until I finish season 2 and I'm caught up.
Yeah.
I will be caught up.
You'll definitely enjoy it. Season 2 was rather memorable.
All right, man. Now, speaking about that, so we got Flashpoint coming, but we got other big DC TV news.
Oh yeah.
Supergirl
cast
a
Superman.
Yes. We are okay.
So no longer will he be texting and leaving messages or showing up and being a shadowy figure that we can only see in profile.
We
He
are
will
getting
be
a Superman.
Superman.
And he looks like
Superman. Like he looks like he's gonna rock it.
And I know I'm going to jack up Tyler's name. I want to say it's Hochlin.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a weird looking name, but we got him. He is our Clark Kent. He is our Superman, and he is going to be on the show.
Tyler Hoechlin?
Yeah, I dude, his name is a total mystery to me. I
don't
just
know.
know he's coming.
Superman. That is what we need to call him from now on. It's just Clark.
Yeah, no, it's Clark Superman. He's coming, and we know he's coming, and that's a great scoop.
So
for them.
we're what, 2, maybe 3 characters away from a real television Justice League. We need a Batman and an Aquaman and a Cyborg, and that's it.
And a Wonder Woman.
And a Wonder Woman. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But
Forgot
no,
about
we
Wonder
actually I'm not going to say we almost have a Justice League Unlimited.
True.
We actually have a live action Justice League Unlimited where we could have.
Well, the JSA, this is another thing. Forgot to add to the docket, I think, earlier. The Justice Society is going to be teased, and characters from the Justice Society are going to be on Legends next season.
My brain just melted a little bit.
Yeah.
I felt some of that just leak out my ear.
DC.
I missed that one. Where did you see that?
So I saw that on the internets on Reddit, on the
Okay.
Legends of Tomorrow subreddit.
Okay.
They've got some links to articles on I think EW and a couple other sites. But basically they've cast, I want to say it was Dr. Fate that they're going to be bringing on. And of course, Dr. Fate's a member of Justice Society.
Yes.
So-
He's been around. He's in Justice League, Justice Society.
And
He shows up quite a bit in the DC universe.
He was teased, actually. His helmet, I think, shows up somewhere. I want to say it's either in Legends of Tomorrow or it was in Arrow or Flash. Somewhere in there, Dr. Fate's helmet showed up at some point, like kind of a background set piece. So
we're getting there. They are really starting to do some great things with that. That's I can't wait to see what's going to happen next season. I think DC fans are going to lose their mind. Our buddy Joe Nathan, our
number one
Go
fan.
Team Lift number one fan is Mr. Joe Nathan himself. Joe Nathan is somewhere holding a blanket and crying happy tears because he is all over that DC fanboy love.
what they should do is they should take Gotham like next season and they should just jump it forward like 10 years, 15 years and do Batman Year Zero and then just say that that's a part of the Arrowverse and then just cross his motherfucking ass over and then we can have Batman and Superman and the Flash and Green Arrow.
Why have we never had a Batman TV series? Would it really be that hard?
We have had a Batman TV series. Remember it was horrible?
Which one are you talking
The
about?
1960s?
Come on, man. I don't even count that. That was from when I was a kid, but that doesn't count.
But that's the reason why we haven't had a live action one. I mean, we've had really, really good
The animated one is
ones.
the best one that ever happened. Batman the Animated Series is the reason we have the Batmans in the movies that we do now.
Yeah.
It shaped every Batman that's ever followed.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see this. I really feel good about this. We got some other things that I want to get into. I really am sad about this one. We've been talking about it. Well, you and I have talked about it. Anton Yelchin
Yeah.
passed away, car wreck. And man, our hearts go out to his family and his friends. That is a terrible loss of a great young talent in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I just saw, I don't know if you saw it, the Green Room. You remember I was really geeked to go downtown one night after work. I went to the Alamo Draft House down off Lamar
Yeah.
because it was playing in limited release here in Austin. I went and watched the Green Room. He's in that movie. He's in the band. In fact, it's him and I don't know if you watched Arrested Development, but Aaliyah Shawkat, who played Maybe on
Yeah.
they were both in the band together. They were both in that movie, The Green Room.
I'm gonna have to go see it now.
Yeah, my heart broke hearing that. This guy, a lot of people weren't aware of his independent films, but a lot of people were aware of his Star Trek.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is like that's going to be a really hard role to recast, like when they do more of the Star Trek movies. Like, that casting there, that whole cast was meant to be the next 10 or 15 years worth of Star Trek.
Yeah, no, they were set to do that, and he was Chekhov.
It's gone. And you know what's fucked up? And this is what I learned just recently, after the fact, is the car that killed him actually had a recall for the reason that killed him. So what happened was he got out of the car and walked around back behind it, and it started to roll at him, and he got crushed by the car.
Yeah,
and
he was pinned between the car and a mailbox, right?
Yeah.
A wall or something.
And that defect in that car is known, and it needs to be recalled, and it hasn't been recalled yet.
It's a senseless death, man. And he was just a great talent, amazingly, seemed like an amazingly awesome guy. I've read nothing but kind words from everybody. J.J. Abrams came out and did a really kind tribute to him on Instagram and on Twitter. I think if you look in down there,
That's from the Green Room, right?
Yeah,
there.
the Green Room. We got a picture of him right there, and that's Aaliyah Shawkat. Loved her as Maybe on Arrested Development. They were great in that movie. And the Green Room, if you hadn't seen it, definitely something I would suggest watching. He was amazing in the role. It is a tense action flick. Definitely sad news. Definitely some sad news there. Hated hearing that. Let's move on to another story. G2A.com.
G2A.
And you've been pissed off about this one.
I've been pissed off about G2A for a long time because they caused me a lot of grief at previous jobs. I used to work for Tryon Worlds.
Okay.
The people who make the video game Rift and a few other MMOs. When I was working there was a day when we were slow. We didn't have much calls coming in, so I got handed an Excel spreadsheet with 900 names on it of accounts that I need to go in and remove the keys from to just take access to the game away from these people. And the reason? G2A. So G2A, if you haven't ever been there, you don't know what it is. It's basically like eBay for game keys. If you have an extra game key and you're a legitimate person, you're supposed to be able to go on there and put up your key for whatever price you want to put it up for. If somebody buys it, they get the key, you get the money. C'est la vie. What winds up actually happening, though, is it's used illegally. People will buy credit cards that have been pilfered from hacks of different companies. They'll take those credit card numbers and they'll go to legitimate retailers and they will buy copies of video games, and then they will take those copies of video games that they bought at retail on stolen credit cards and they will sell them on G2A to people for half the price. And then once they've been sold, they get that money, and if the person who owns that card calls in and does a chargeback,
Right.
then the company that the key was purchased from has to give that money back, and they also have to usually pay some kind of small fee for having to have that service be done by the customer. And so this person just made a shitload of money and got to walk away scot-free with it because they bought credit cards and sold stolen goods essentially on G2A.
So it gets somebody else. So I'm still a credit card, used a stolen credit card to buy a game code or game key. Then I go sell that game key.
And I make that money.
Yeah.
And then the person whose credit card I stole, they call up the card company and they say, I didn't make this purchase.
Right.
And so that card company has to take that money away.
Charge back.
So the person gets the money for selling the game for not ever actually having bought it themselves.
Right.
And that's how G2A makes their money, because they take small fees off of those sales.
So
And so
G2A's not losing. They're just, hey, we took our money off the front. We got it off the fees.
those 900 names that I was given, I'm going away and stripping video games off of people who believe that they bought the key legitimately off of G2A. So they're getting hurt, somebody's getting money, and somebody else is getting hurt. Two people are getting hurt, and one person is getting away with money scot-free, and G2A is doing nothing about it.
Okay.
This article that I found it's not actually even an article, really. It's a screenshot of the website, because Tiny Build Games, this was such a big story on Reddit that their website actually went down. Somebody managed to screen cap it. But in here, he puts some figures together. He basically says that the total value of these transactions on G2A was $200,000. So $200,000 was made by people selling stolen keys off in G2A. If those keys had actually happened at the real retail price directly from Tiny Build or from one of the legitimate sellers like Steam, it would have made $450,000.
And these are small companies that need that $450,000 in sales.
Yeah.
These are not, this isn't EA. EA would hurt even if they lost 450. I don't care who. Ubisoft would hurt at 450,000.
It happens with every type of game. Like it's big publisher, small publisher. It doesn't matter. Tiny Build Games is just the first people who have come out and said, here's the actual.
This is how you're
This is
screwing
what's
us.
happening.
Okay.
And I mean, this happened to Tryon Worlds. This happens to Tiny Build. It happens to EA. It happens to Ubisoft. It's fucking terrible. And G2A, like they're not doing anything to ensure that what's being sold on their website is legitimate. They're taking absolutely no responsibility whatsoever. So if you buy anything from G2A, there's a very good possibility that whatever you are buying is hurting two people.
Wow.
One of those people being the company, not really a person, but I mean, if it's just one guy and he's the only one who worked on that game, which there are some legitimate games that are like that, you're hurting that guy, and then you're also hurting the person whose credit card was stolen to buy that key that you bought for $25 instead of $50 or $60.
Wow, that's a really hot mess of a deal right there.
Yeah, I mean, the hundreds of thousands of keys, I would say, probably per month are sold on there, if not more, and I'd say probably upwards of 60 or 75% of them are probably fake.
Wow.
But I mean, I don't have any real way to back that up, like to quantify it. It's just the way that I feel about the site.
Because of your personal experience with it. And then, you see something like this from Tiny Bill. Here's what I want you to do. If you guys follow us on our Twitter page, the @GoTeamLift Twitter page, can you get that on there tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to go ahead and put that on our Twitter page. I really feel like we need to have that one on there. And if you guys get a chance, I really want you to go check this out. We're going to have a link there. It's definitely, I think it's definitely something we want people to see, because that's frightening. That is frightening that somebody is doing that. It's
a terrible thing, and I really wish that it didn't happen, but I mean, there's not much that we can do about it short of, somebody stepping in and regulating it, or at least G2A self-regulating it, or only allowing resale of games that are purchased from legitimate sources.
Right.
And have like a waiting period on it or something. Like you submit your key for sale, and then that key is not available for sale on the website for like 90 days or something like that. Because you'd hope that within a 90-day period, that if somebody has had fraudulent charges show up on their account, they've already gotten that key refunded, and that key's already been taken to the cleaners and been disabled from the original seller side, or from the company who actually generated that key, can take it down. But something's got to be done about it, because it's getting real fucking old real fast.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Definitely, we will have that link up there on our Twitter page. I think what we're going to start doing is a lot of these links, we'll just start putting them on the Twitter page so people can go to our Twitter page and start reading them there. We'll definitely be getting I think we'll definitely get this one up about G2A. I want to get that out. And I think we can get that New York Times article about net neutrality. Definitely going to start getting those out. We'll start putting some of this on the Twitter page for you guys so you can kind of read along and see what's got us hyped. Anime seasons getting ready to come to an end. So I think Father's Day, when a lot of men were out and celebrating with their families and with their loved ones. I was holed up in a bedroom with all the blinds closed in the dark, trying to crush out seasons upon seasons, getting shows wrapped up. So, a show that I talked to you guys about earlier on the podcast, we talked about The Lost Village. It came to an end. This one was a weird ending on this anime. I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to ruin it for the people that are going to watch it. I'm just going to say the ending is getting mixed feelings. It got weirder and stranger. It really turned into Lost.
Was it at least satisfying?
I was satisfied. Not everybody was. I think the thing that you get into is that it starts asking a lot of metaphysical questions, and it starts delving into psychology. I mean, what if our physical scars and what if our mental scars could come to life and they haunted us? What about the mistakes we made from our past still haunted us and became physical manifestations? So it started getting into some pretty wild shit.
Yeah.
As the series goes on, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but even myself, who had watched every episode and had watched some multiple times, even myself with the episode 12, the last episode in the series, even my jaw hit the ground, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And I think we kind of knew that was coming. I think we kind of knew that was going to be one of the things that was going to happen with the series. So, overall, I still enjoyed it. I'm getting kind of excited because that means with the end of one season, we start getting ready for the summer season of anime. And I got a couple of series. Danganronpa is going to start this summer. That's going to be great, which is a wonderful video game for the Vita. The handhelds, they already have the season 1 and the anime out. I think it's one you would like. It's pretty much, there's a lot of murder on that one.
A lot of murder?
A lot of murder in that one. I'm going to send you some links for it. Definitely one you want to get all the seasons and watch. You like the ones where people are killed and their lives are on the line. I think you're going to love some Danganronpa. We're getting a second season of that one in anime that's coming. I love the ones, I hate to admit this, but my buddy and I, a friend of the show, Adrian Broliva, the big bro is... he has a penchant for cute girls in high school singing. He loves cute magical girl anime. That's his thing. And here's the weird thing. This is a MMA fighter who loves cute girl anime, and it doesn't even seem that odd when you meet him. Like you meet this guy, and he's a mountain of a man, and when you talk to him, the first time you talk to him, you'll be like, I can see him watching cute girl anime. And he and I love one of our favorite cute girl animes is something called Love Live Idol. And it's about these girls that saved their high school by starting an idol group. And they started like, hey, we're going to raise money by doing shows. And then they ended up like the story of friendship, and these 4 girl groups kind of come together and made one super group. And then they competed to try to win money and bring fame to their school, and it stopped it from getting close. Great story. Cute. I liked it. It was a great series. I really enjoyed it. The music was great. Did really big in Japan as far as the music goes. I mean, the album's even available on iTunes. They have a double album already, volume 1. It's cool.
It's kind of like my brain's blanking now.
I'll tell you like this. If American Idol was about kids trying to save a high school and they sang songs, so kind of like, what was that movie from Disney a couple years ago? High School Musical. Mm-hmm. They're trying to save the high school, and the kids get together and they sing songs. That's what Love Live Idol was.
So would you say they're on a mission from God?
I would not say they're on a mission from God.
So it's not like the Blues Brothers at all?
Senpai has sent them on this mission.
So it's not like the Blues Brothers at all?
No, it is not the Blues Brothers at all, no. But they do have some cute songs and great dance numbers.
But it sounds like the Blues. I mean, they're trying to put on a concert to raise money to save something.
Yeah, which is kind of like, they were trying to save
they don't
an
have
orphanage.
to get the band back together again. That's the only thing that's missing.
Well, that's weird. This is where this gets interesting. Season 2, there's a new Love Live, a new group of girls are coming this summer, and this fool is super duper excited for it. Like he and I are both like, I can't even lie, we're both like crazy happy for this to happen. Like there's a Love Live movie. We almost went to a anime convention in Canada because they were going to show the movie in North America for the first time at this convention. And I seriously was about to get tickets to go to Canada to go watch the Love Live Idol movie. I then realized I'm a 45-year-old grown-ass black man. And
So-
when gay people are telling you, that's gay, my nigga, you might not want to do it.
So I'm gonna assume that you and him have both dressed up like Sailor Moon and sat down and watched the Sailor Moon from like start to finish together.
We have not. Have we
Don't
discussed
lie to me.
it? We've discussed it. We have discussed it. We just have not done it because I was gonna be Sailor Moon. I wanted to be Sailor Moon. This fool, I think he wants to be. Is it Mercury or Venus? He's choosing between those two. But then it got weird, and like it was 5 grown men, and we were all going to be a different Sailor Scout. Like, it filled out so quick. Like, our friends, I didn't even know these were my friends until they were like, I saw their level of commitment where we were discussing who was going to be what Sailor Scouts. And then I was like, this is getting strange, and it's getting strange quickly. Do you hear me? So it was one of those weird things. And so we've discussed it. We're still not saying it won't happen this year, that I will show up as Sailor Moon somewhere. And there will be photos if it happens. But yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do at work for the Halloween thing.
I don't think the world is... I don't think...
The world's not ready for that.
Our coworkers are not ready for me to come in full Sailor Moon attire with the blonde wig, because I'm doing the whole thing. I'm going to do the pigtail wig and
so
the red
regardless
boots.
of what we do, you should just do that anyway.
Look, there's a good chance that I'm going to be Princess Peach for Halloween. And I don't know why at 45 I now have become a cross-dressing fanatic. I feel like Klinger from MASH. Like, I'm not even trying to get out of anything. I'm not even trying to get out of the army. I'm just putting on dresses because I look really good in them.
You got to do it and then go do comedy at the Comedy Store in it.
I would do it, but here's the thing. It's Austin. If I showed up dressed in a French maid outfit to do stand-up, they wouldn't even bat an eye in Austin. It'd be like, true. That's this guy's thing. I like it. I would probably get more laughs dressed as a woman.
Probably.
Because they don't want to be insensitive to what I identify as. And I identify as an asshole prankster, but that would be what I identify as. But they would not want to be upsetting me because we're not judgmental. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to win tonight. So yeah, it may happen. But there's a couple anime that I'm kind of looking forward to, and I'm seeing a lot of them wrap up. Of course, I'll keep you guys posted when it gets closer to that launch. In fact, I think what I'll do is I'll try to get a list together of what's coming this summer and keep your eyes peeled for. I'll pick 5, my quick 5 to watch. If you're an anime watcher, this is the quick 5. You, Danganronpa, not even a question. Murder and mayhem, and you're trapped inside a high school. Trapped in a high school, and it's just a weird premise, and I'm going to get it to you. I really think you're going to like it. But yeah, other than that, The Lost Village came to an end, and it was a crazy ending. Get caught up on that one. If you guys are watching the show, and you've been watching since we did that show, and we talked about The Lost Village, that was part of my 2-for-1, where I gave them a manga pick and I gave them a manga pick and an anime pick. I want to say we did that on episode 2,
1 or 2.
It was somewhere in there. It was early on in the run of the shows. But if you find one of those issues, if you're going back, listen to issues, I'd say check around issue 1, issue 2. You'll see where we discuss that and we get into it. Definitely a hot pick. Anything for you that you're excited about, man, this summer?
Just the Flashpoint period. I mean, not really the summer, because it's not going to be the summer. It's going to be October. But
yeah,
I want Flashpoint in my life. I need it like tomorrow. I also need Supergirl on the CW, and I need all those crossovers. I need them to figure out some way to just meld all of this shit together, because Supergirl is supposed to be in another dimension. She's on a different Earth. So okay. The Arrowverse is where Arrow and Flash happens is Earth Prime.
Okay.
And then all of the other Earths are just different variations. So that would be the other thing that would be so cool. God, I wish they would do that. Take Supergirl and make her Power Girl and have her come from Earth 2. Mm-hmm. Or cast somebody else, but bring in Power Girl. That would be awesome.
Bro, are we ready for that?
I am totally ready for the boob window. Like, on TV. I need
Power
it.
Girl, man. They would have to get a real chesty actress for that Power Girl. I was like, golly, that is one, I'm just going to be honest, that is probably one of the sexiest superhero costumes for a female character out there.
So, here's what's funny, and I don't know if I can't remember if I read this or if it was on one of Kevin Smith's old like Fat Man on Batman podcasts, but basically the creator of that character, when they originally brought her out, she was just normal proportions, and they didn't think that anybody at the home office was actually paying attention to what they were doing with this character. So in every issue, they just made her bust line bigger until somebody said something. That's how we got to where Power Girl is today.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because negligence on DC's side of things, not actually paying attention or bothering to pay attention to their artists.
That's crazy. That is crazy. If that's really how that goes down, that is the craziest story I've ever heard.
It's the best.
It is. No, it really. Here's the thing, though. It's hard to like her outfit. Here's my thing. Like, in comic books, there always these women are half naked in everything.
Yeah.
Everything, like even in video games, women are half naked. And she has stronger armor half naked than you in a full bodysuit. And I've never understood that.
She's a Kryptonian. I mean, she could run around in nothing if she wanted to, and she would be fine in fights.
Yeah, but that bothers me, man. Because here's my thing. And I guess it never bothered me until I had daughters.
Yeah.
And then I start realizing we are an objectifying culture.
Yep.
And I never thought about it. Like, before I had daughters, I was like, boobies. And then I had daughters, and I said, put on a fucking turtleneck. This is bullshit. They don't need to be naked. I got daughters around here. I'm trying to raise daughters.
Okay, so they did actually just recently redo Power Girl's outfit. It doesn't have the boob window anymore.
Did they get rid of the boob window?
Yeah, they got rid of
it. All right. And even then, I'll be sad that the boob window's gone. But still,
yeah.
Why does every female character, look at Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. She's been in that same outfit for years. Like, I know one time they did give her pants. One of the reboots, they gave her pants. It was an ugly costume. She didn't last long. She went back to it.
I didn't really mind the pants.
I think I would have liked the colors. They could have did different colors, but I just think they tried to make it too dark. It was too one-dimensional. Like, if they'd have kept that, if the pants would have kept that same stars pattern, I probably would have been like, okay, this is kind of cool. But
you know who I'm hoping that they're going to cast in the new Marvel stuff that's coming out soon? I'm hoping they're going to do Miss Marvel.
They're already, there's talk. There's some big... I don't want to get into it yet because there's only just rumors.
Yeah.
But there's talk about they're already doing some heavy looking at some powerful actresses to be in that role.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing that we completely forgot about.
What's that?
There were new synopsises posted for Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and for Doctor Strange.
How? Oh, my gosh. So this is over at
this
Cosmic
is on,
Book News. Yeah. Great
Cosmic
website.
Book News.
They got some new stuff up going. Okay.
Marvel's Doctor Strange follows the story of a talented neurosurgeon, Dr. Stephen Strange, who, after a tragic car accident, must put ego aside and learn the secrets of a hidden world of mysticism and alternative dimensions. Based in New York City's Greenwich Village, Doctor Strange must act as an intermediary between the real world and the world that lies beyond, utilizing a vast array of metaphysical abilities and artifacts to protect the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay, first of all, have you ever seen the Marvel animated movie for Doctor Strange?
I have not.
It used to be on Netflix, and if you have a Netflix account, I want you to find that movie and watch it. Because one of my buddies, I think you know, Tony Deaver, part of the band, The Brink. What is the name of it? Brink of Disaster. He's in that band, Brink of Disaster. He and I have talked about this at length. You know, that he's a huge Doctor Strange fan. I think we were some of the few, and I feel like Dr. Fate is the equivalent in the DC universe to what Doctor Strange is in Marvel. So I really feel like that character, Doctor Strange, is going to blow a lot of people's minds if they do this movie right. Well, I'm not worried about them doing it wrong. Marvel has a great track record.
Yeah.
But I really feel like that animated version of Doctor Strange, if they would have just scene for scene remade that animated movie, I still wouldn't be upset because it is the perfect fucking origin story for him.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Watch it. Throw that definitely into your watch list. definitely into your watch list.
And then let's see, the second one is set to the backdrop of awesome mixtape number 2, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Volume 2 continues the team's adventures as they traverse the outer reaches of the cosmos. The Guardians must fight to keep their newly found family together as they unravel the mystery of Peter Quill's true parentage. Old foes will become new allies, and fan favorite characters from the classic comics will come to our heroes' aid as the Marvel Cinematic Universe continues to expand.
I feel like Nova's showing up.
Maybe.
I feel like we're going to get Nova in this. I feel like Nova is showing up.
So who's going to be Nova? Is it going to be Sylvester Stallone, or is it going to be, was it Michael Douglas? No.
Trying to play
else.
to play Peter Quill's dad?
Yeah. I mean, who's going to be Nova? It's not Michael Douglas.
Nova's now. Here's the thing: the Nova's been like, there was a young Nova, there was an old Nova. Nova's a young kid now. I don't know what we're gonna do here, but I really feel like who's gonna be his dad? That's what I really want to see who they're gonna cast.
Yeah.
And are we gonna? And here's the thing: my brother Terrence has been real big on the cartoon. You know, he's been watching the Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon. And something I did not know, he said it picks up where the movie left off.
The new film?
He said where the original Guardians movie ends, that's where the cartoon series picked up.
Oh, okay.
So you're watching this team as they're out here, you know, they're expecting, well, you saw the movie, so you know what's going on. So we don't have to retell this story. Come along for the journey. And he said there's been a quiet thing all through it that they're trying to figure out who his dad is. And he's searching for his dad. And that he said that's going to lead directly into the new film.
Yeah. I was thinking wrong. I wasn't thinking Michael Douglas. I was trying to think of the name Kurt Russell. We don't know who Kurt Russell's going to play.
Now, he's been said that he's in, though, right?
Well, he's in. He's on IMDb right now.
Who is
Kurt Russell right
play?
there? So Kurt Russell could possibly be his dad, or Sylvester Stallone is also supposed to be in this, and he could also be his dad.
Yeah, because they're listed, but we don't know who they are. We don't know who
they are. And they've just wrapped filming on this, and it's going to be out next year.
Wait, Nathan Fillion's in this?
Yeah, Nathan Fillion is... Okay, Nathan Fillion's going to be Simon Williams. Simon Williams is...
Wonder Man? Simon
Wonder
Williams?
Man, yes. Wonder Man, you're exactly right. Okay, so here's what's fucked, is some pictures got released from the set. I think we talked about this a while ago. Some pictures got released from the set where they were showing the front of a movie theater, and in the posters, the poster holders on the outside of the movie theater,
right,
they had posters for various things, and one of them was Simon Wilson playing Tony Stark in a Tony Stark biopic.
Bro.
So Nathan Fillion as Tony Stark in a Tony Stark biopic.
This is the most fully realized practical joke ever. That is trolling on a...
Nathan Fillion was in the first one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the voice of that big guy that accosts them when they first get to the prison.
Right.
Yeah, that was Nathan Fillion in the first one. So he's going to be coming back as Wonder Man.
This is amazing. So we know Wonder Man's in the new...
Yeah.
And if a lot of people don't know, Wonder Man he was kind of a weird power. He had super strength, near invulnerability. You know, he could take an ass whooping if he had to. But the thing about him that I found impressive was that he had like the glasses that protected his eyes, like almost like Cyclops from the X-Men. But the thing that was weird about him was he was an actor. He did his own stunts, but he was also a really big part of the West Coast Avengers comic book series in the early 80s. That was his thing. So what was it? His eyes have no irises. His entire eyeball is permeated with shifting spots of energy, presumably the ionic energy that gave him his powers. Yeah, so he has an advanced degree in electrical engineering. He was really a cool character when he was in the West Coast Avengers. I really liked him a lot. That's going to be neat.
Ionic energy form, superhuman strength, super speed, super stamina, super durability, agility, reflexes, hearing, energy vision, flight, immortality, ionic regenerative healing.
No, he was like a combination of Superman, Wolverine, Cyclops. I mean, there was some weird stuff going on with the guy, and he was a great actor. It would be pretty much like if Tom Cruise became a hero in our universe.
Yeah.
Good actor, well known, well liked, had a bunch of hits. All of a sudden,
Gets
He's
powers.
got superpowers.
Yeah.
So, but he really was an intricate part to the West Coast Avengers when it became a thing in comics. I want to say that was mid 80s, like 85 to 89, somewhere in there. West Coast Avengers was doing its thing. I was a kid. I remember the West Coast Avengers very well. I enjoyed the series. It was never as good as the East Coast Avengers, or what we call the real Avengers, but it was still a great one. So I like to see what they do with that. That's going to be good. Man, we're coming up on the end of this show. Man, it's always a pleasure sitting down and talking with you and getting into geek culture. We hope you guys enjoy it each week. You ever have any kind of recommendations for us? If you ever want to just get a hold of us, definitely reach out to us on our Twitter page @GoTeamLift. You can actually find all of our social media links from there. You can also find us at Coach Silky, my personal page, as well as Brandon's page @Thiazide. And I think just definitely hit us up. Let's get on there. Let's start talking to people. And if you got questions, we definitely want to hear from you. So is there anything you want to close with before we get out of here this week?
No, I think that pretty much does it. We'll be back next time.
Yeah, we'll definitely be back. We'll have more issues. We'll have more things to talk about. And we love hearing from you guys. Man, it's been a pleasure talking to you once again. Peace. Thanks for listening to the Team Lift Podcast with your hosts, Brendan Bowie and Roderick McDaniel. Join us again next week as we discuss more topics from geek culture. Be sure to follow us on our Twitter page @GoTeamLift, as well as our personal pages @CoachSilky and @Thiazide. You can direct questions or comments to us on our Twitter page, as well as find links to all of our social media outlets. Thank you for listening. See you again next week.